Welcome back, guys. It's your boy, Jacob Jordan, your man. For some of the ladies out there, the beautiful ladies. But before we get into this video, I just want to say I want to thank everyone for helping me to hit 100 subscribers on the page. Calm down. To all the people who helped me hit 100 subscribers, you know who you are. I have nothing but admiration for the people who just supported the channel before we made it mainstream. And on our road to making it mainstream, I just want to thank, first of all, God up above for being, instrumental in my life into guiding me onto this path, as well as I want to thank everyone who's been supporting the channel via likes, via shares, or via subscription. And if you've done all three, let me know in the comments. I'll see if I could and join the Discord. I'll see if I could get you guys some special roles. But without further ado, let's get into the video of the night. Now, why do I think Spain could win this next World Cup? I'm gonna be giving a couple points, 6 points to be exact, 6 points on why I believe Spain could be winning this next World Cup. Why I think Spain is extremely well suited to win this next World Cup, and why I think it's ultimately already locked. It's already locked. I'm gonna be honest, man. I read the scripts for the last couple of years. But man, anyway, jokes aside, let's get into it. Now, I just want to talk about my first point being their current form and their current momentum and how they've been doing in recent tournaments, right? So they're the reigning European champions of Euro 2024. So now we know they have what it takes to win a major tournament. Doesn't matter if the majority of the players that they won it with are young. They won that tournament, let's be honest, in dominant fashion. And going into other tournaments like the Nations Leagues, they can comfortably make it to the finals of major tournaments and win if need be. Now, from over the last couple months, they dropped in the ranking, but they quickly gained it back. By September, they're now ranked the #1 footballing nation in the world. Now, I made a video about this on one of my burner accounts talking about Spain being the #1 footballing nation in the world. And now that I'm thinking about it, without a doubt in my mind, they are. When you look at players like a Lamine, a Pedri, a Rodri, a HYDRAA, these are world-class players. They almost have a world-class spine, but we're gonna get more and more into it. My second point for why I believe they have what it takes to win the next World Cup. They have an elite midfield core. They have the intelligence to play in the biggest games in the world, and not only play in them, they're gonna dominate. This Spanish team, they have what it takes to cook consistently through the deepest parts and against the toughest teams in the world, whether it's a France, whether it's a Brazil, whether it's Argentina, whether it's a Germany or England. All of the players that they have can operate on such a high level to maintain the form and the level that is needed to win. They have a tournament winning level group of players and a tournament winning level midfield. Now let's just talk about the midfield. Rodri, Pedri, Fabio Ruiz, Gavi if he's going to be fit in time. They have one of the deepest midfields in the world. whether you want to set them up differently tactically. We can also talk about players like Dani Olmo, Mikel Merino, just to throw out some more names, right? When it comes to technicality, they can play any form of football. Tactically, they can play any form of football. And physically, maybe not all of the players are just, physically strong, but with those first two, the technical ability and the tactical ability, it's like the Spain that we saw in the 2010s. They don't need to be physically dominant. They just need the ball. And they can keep the ball at a very high level and attack at a very high level. Spain's style, it's for the people who love the eye test. If you love the eye test and you like to see players not only technically thrive, but through their decision making thrive, you're gonna love to watch Spain. Especially in build-up. Build-up is where you get to see the things that make, in my opinion, Pedri the best midfield player in the world. If it was up to me, I would take Rodri's Ballon d'Or and give it to Pedri. Now Rodri is a pretty good DM, but I don't think he's not even Spain's best midfielder if we're gonna be on. He's not. Now a lot of these guys have high in-game IQ, especially in the midfield. When we look at Pedri and Rodri, these are two players that are very Barcelona-esque. You could see it in Rodri's philosophy. He's a Barcelona midfield player. Kind of like a Busquets region. Same thing with Pedri. He's like a Xavi region. These two players are, whenever they play for their country, they're symbiotic. They get the job done. Whenever they play for their country, they are head and shoulders above the competition. The only other midfield in the world I can see really competing with this midfield is Portugal's midfield with Vitinha and João Neves, as well as England's midfield. But England has to pick the right players. I would love to see Adam Wharton and I wouldn't even play Declan Rice, but I would rather play Bellingham as a destroyer and as an 8. As crazy as that sounds, but I really think Bellingham is an underrated DM. I think he could be one of the best DMs in the world. It's just on the ball, he's a little shaky. That's why I say Adam Wharton. We go Adam Wharton, Bellingham, and Palmer at the 10. Amazing. You have Bellingham do the box-to-box role, Adam Wharton as a DM, sweep up the midfield. He's like a Declan Rice regen, and you get the ball to Palmer, you let the magic happen. But we all know we might not see that coming from him. Now, one of my favorite things about this midfield core is the shift in between the possession, play, and pressing. Meaning, when they have the ball and let's say they lose the ball, how quick they turn into like a parasitical type of organism to get that ball back. They surround you. They choke the life out of your possession, squeeze, and they subtract what they need, which is the ball again. Now, I think Spain, when it comes to their blend of youth and experience, they have some of the best blends. And I think this is something Chelsea can learn from. Whenever it comes to developing young stars and young players, they normally don't put too much pressure on their young players. And even if they put some pressure on their young players, these players are given enough technical training, let's just use that word, and the right philosophy is instilled into these players to handle playing on the biggest stages. They consistently do it. Consistently do it. Look at Xavi, look at Iniesta when they first came into the Spain national team. Very young. Sergio Ramos, very young. And they were performing at an elite level. And now, this new generation, they're doing the same thing. Dean Huijsenson, young, but elite. Elite. Look at Pedri, young, elite. Lamine Yamal, young, elite. Kubarsi, young, elite. You gotta give it to him. And when you're talking experience, you have older leaders like Carvajal, who's been through high pressure moments with Spain, but he's also won things with Spain, won big majors with Spain. And then you have older players like a Cucurella, who, even though he hasn't been in as much high pressure like tournaments, he's definitely won already with the squad, so he can go and try and do it again. And like I said, he has the technical training and the technical ability and the right philosophy instilled in him to thrive, not even just survive on the biggest level, to thrive. Now, when it comes to their qualifying and their group stage start, Spain have started their qualifying in excellent form, demolishing Turkey 6-0 with a Michael Merino hat trick. And right now they're topping their group, so it looks like they're probably gonna get a good draw. You know, because once you top your group, you're gonna get an easier draw. We don't have to talk too much about qualifying and the group stage start. I think they're gonna get a pretty much easy group. I don't think Spain's gonna end with a group of death. And even if they end up with a group of death, let's say England, Spain, Germany, or England, France, Spain, or Brazil, France, Spain, I still think Spain tops that group. They have what it takes. I'm really excited for this new World Cup. Now, my fifth point, adaptability and pragmatism. Unlike most pure possession-based team back in the day, Spain are tactically flexible. What does that mean? They can go periods without the ball, and they're really strong at their off-ball defense. And the thing about because they have, like, this is what I'm talking about. Tactically, they're adaptable, right? Because they can suffocate you with just putting a lot of pressure on you the whole game through keeping the ball. But if they're going against, let's say, a team like England or a team like Germany, they're more than willing to say, hey, we'll take some pressure from you guys because we're ready to hit you on the counter. We're ready to hit you where it hurts. And that's a fact. They're not scared of giving an elite team or even a weaker team possession to make them make mistakes in possession through pressing, like I said earlier, where they squeeze the press, and then on that counter, clinical. When you have someone like Lamine Yamal or Nico Williams running at you on a counter, that's one of the scariest sights in world football at this moment. Those two players are a nightmare to have running at you. And a player like Pedri will find them. A player like Rodri will find them. A player like Dani Olmo will find them. Fabian Ruiz, one of the best box crashers in world football. So let's say you do a good job of containing Lamine Yamal on a counter, or you do a good job of containing Nico Williams on a counter. The threat's not done, because if Fabio Ruiz is on the pitch or Pedri's on the pitch, they're now ghosting into the box at blind sides, on blind spots, like a panther, waiting for the right moment for the defense's awareness to drop, to ghost, to close their eyes, to look the wrong way, and they just slither in and strike. You don't want to give these type of teams, You don't want to sleep on Spain at all at any point in the game because they punish silly mistakes with ruthless efficiency. Now let's go on to the 6th point. Motivation plus psychological. Now in this new era, Spain does it like as much as they're strong teams. Like I'm gonna say, the strongest team in the world on paper right now is France. The best put together team in the world is Spain. England, I would say, have the 2nd best team in the world on paper. Brazil also has, I would say, if like they're neck and neck with England, you could argue that Brazil has the 2nd best team in the world on paper. But here's the thing, when it comes to, yes, on paper you have the team, but what can you do with all of these weapons? Can you get the most out of these weapons? Because if you can, that's what makes Spain so deadly. Because they don't play for glory, right? And by they don't play for glory, I'm talking about the individual players. They don't play for glory. They play for their country and they play for the team. I've seen many times in a major tournament where Yamal would give up the most, obvious shot that you would think a player at his level would take just for a simple assist to Nico Williams. They're not scared of being unpredictable and putting ego to the side to dominate. And that is the psychological edge that France lacks, that England lacks, and that Brazil lacks. Now these things can change because the World Cup is yet to happen. But right now, I wholeheartedly believe that Spain is going to win this next World Cup. The teams who I do think that are going to make it deep in the tournament, I think England's going to make it deep into the tournament. I think Brazil might go all the way to the final, but they're just going to lose because of that same point I just made. Brazil may be able to gel like a team, but they don't have like that symbiotic type of sharing the same wavelength type of philosophy yet, in my opinion. I still think Brazil are finding their identity as a footballing nation again. You could see us coming back, but Spain already found their identity a long time ago, and they've been building something that could be another dynasty. I could see them winning this World Cup and then going to win the next Euros. Another three-peat like what they did before. And as much as I do think Pedri is the best midfielder in the world, I think the most important player for Spain is not going to be Lamine Yamal, it's not going to be Nico Williams, it's not going to be Pedri. I think it's going to be their defensive midfielder, Rodri. Rodri is going to be the brains of that midfield, and Pedri is going to be the magician that at times where they're up against a team and it looks neck and neck, they're going to look to Pedri to create a moment of magic. They're going to look to Lamine to create a moment of magic to unlock that defense. Pedri to unlock the midfield. But when it comes to the brain that holds that midfield together, Rodri, you have to find your form again at Man City this season and get on top of your game. Let me know what you guys think. So for all the España fans, let me know what you think. I think the future is really bright, especially going into this World Cup. I think you have a very high chance of bringing it home. You may have to look out for Brazil because they might be having a resurgence. But, your boy Jacob Jordan. And I'll see you guys back for the night of the video. Tomorrow, mañana. Subscribe, like the video, and comment your thoughts. Peace.